Our sun's coming out. Hello, everybody. How's it going? It is Heather Kuceba and Cassie Webb here with another awesome Coast to Coast Lifestyles. And today we are talking about December stats because those just came out for both of us, which I am always excited for those because it's so fun to compare our two markets.
Yes, absolutely. So if you guys have not seen our previous episodes, you'll be in for a surprise at the end. If you have, then you know that our markets are quite different. Heather, what are you drinking? You drinking coffee or tea or what you got over there?
Tea. It's a peppermint rose tea. It's so good.
Nice. Very nice. I think y'all have, I know it's in like I know I look all bundled up, but it's like mid 50s right now. It's not bad, but how's your weather over there?
Getting chilly. So right now it's pretty warm for this time of year. I think our high today is something like 40 degrees. But starting, I think it's tomorrow or the day after, we're going to start getting into freezing temperatures. So like our lows are in 13 degrees and we're expecting snow over the next couple of days. So
oh, do we get a live view of snow at some point? That would actually be really exciting for me.
We might. Actually, what's really interesting is we have so many different models on like, hey, this is what we're expecting the weather to look like this weekend. All of them are so drastically different. Like some of them are expecting no snow at all, and some of them are expecting a foot and everything in between. So it's we don't quite know what we're gonna get, but if it does start snowing, I'll definitely have some videos that you can share next week.
Yes, that was super cool. I'm actually excited about that.
Yeah.
So speaking of expectations, I know we looked at our December numbers, which we're about to share with each other. Were they what you were expecting, kind of overall?
There were a couple of surprises-ish, but considering kind of what's been happening with the market over the last couple of months, like with interest rates and stuff like that, it's not too surprising, if that makes sense.
Yes. Well, some of our numbers for last year still be unreleased, but I'm super, super excited to look at that next week and see kind of how it's looking compared to how we thought, and kind of I think I like the year in review because it gives a little more, I feel like, comprehensive view of where we're at in the market than month over month, especially in a month like December, where it's a little different because the market can be a little different. There's sometimes less people shopping for houses, less people putting their house on the market, people gearing up for the New Year's, busy with the holidays and so on. So, but let's jump into it. Let's talk about inventory. So what was your inventory looking like last month?
Yeah, so our months of inventory is actually starting to trend downwards. Again, probably because of the interest rates, plus, December is a much lower month with real estate. So this is actually what ours looks like. We are currently at 1.2 months of inventory, which is down from November, which was 1.6 months of inventory. So it almost half a month of inventory less.
Yeah, that's incredible. And just so you guys know, if you haven't been on our previous episodes or aren't familiar, your inventory, the lower it is, the number, the more of a strong market, seller's market that it is. There's less, options that increases the buyer's or decreases the choice of the buyer making the houses. Typically, you could see the values go up. So like 5 to 6 months is considered a balanced market. More than 6 months and more is a buyer's market. So really, that is a very, very strong seller's market, right? And so ours is inventory 3.31. It's actually down a little bit, which our number is still, I know we're going to get to that in a minute, but it was down a little bit as well. So I think part of that is just like there were a few less listings and then also a few less people buying. But definitely our inventory is down a little bit because people didn't list as much in December. But definitely we're both in a seller's market. Heather's got me beat there though on the inventory. So very low inventory over there. So how about your numbers sold?
So my number sold, I'm actually making an edit to it right now because I realized I messed something up. But we sold 294 homes in my particular area, which is Seattle's east side,
Okay.
last year, which is actually down expectedly. Again, December is a much slower month, from 342 in November. But yeah, so 294 homes sold.
So my number this month is for Harrison County, is where I pulled them, which is one of our larger counties. So it's probably a little unfair because I'm pulling from one county. I think you're pulling from kind of a couple, but I think overall we're doing the best we can to compare our very different markets and areas. But we had 182 sold in Harrison County, which was a little bit less than the month before, which was to be expected with the holidays and everything here anyway. So
yeah. And to hint on that too, for those that didn't see the earlier episodes, basically what we tried to do when we were debating on, because our county sizes are very different. Like the time it takes you to drive from one side of the county to the other, or I'm sorry, one side of the state to the other, is the same amount of time that it takes for me to drive one side of the county to the other. Like it's, our states are so different in size, very different populations, very different density. So it's, we tried to kind of mesh it into a similar area size, like square mile size, roughly. Yeah.
So this is where we get drastically different for those that don't know. So Heather, who should go first?
Okay. Are we doing percent sold over list price first? Or
yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So list to sold. I don't think we'll be too different here. So let's
go. Yep.
90s. Okay.
We're not far off at all.
Not far off at all. So right about 90% of the list price to the sold price. So our list price was down a little bit. So I think that's one reason that that number is up for us, is because people are starting to really adjust their expectations to be more in line with the market. So as long as they're priced well, people are really getting close to asking price and selling quickly. So okay. And then last but not least, our median sales price. So I think we should just hold it up at the same time for those who have the previous episodes.
Sounds good.
Here we go. It's just off by like a little over $1 million, guys. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever. 1.25 million, no big deal. Oh man, and it's so interesting to me that yours is actually down from November, because when we saw the interest rates go below 7, all of the buyers, like not all, because again, December, but so many buyers came out of the woodworks. It was like, hey, now's our time. Interest rates are down. So our prices actually went up because of that. And this is sold price, right? So it's, you know, what was the end price when it closed?
Right. Well, one thing about that, I think when you're looking at, you know, $1 million and it goes down by say 0.5%, that's going to be quite substantial. Here are taxes and insurance make enough. I mean, hey, look, every 0.5% counts for sure. But I don't know that people necessarily were coming out of the woodworks with the 0.5%, you know, on a 200, you know, just say a $230,000 purchase. It's not quite as substantial as a $1 million+ you know, 0.5% makes a big difference. So
yeah, that's
I think though we're not going to get into predictions right now because we're going to recap last year and then we are going to give you guys our predictions, and I'm super excited about that. So anyway, so give us our closing remarks for what we can expect next week. And we're gonna keep, guys, is you could, anytime that you're kind of tuning in for a second, you can add a quick glance down at the bottom. Typically we will have what we're talking about this week if you want to catch a replay, and what we're talking about next week, because sometimes we have some really exciting stuff coming up. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So as Cassie said, next week is going to be our 2023 year in review. And so basically what that means is like, every month we take a look at what happened the previous month, but it doesn't really give you an overall picture of the year, especially when you're considering like our market recently has been really crazy because of going into COVID, coming out of COVID, figuring out the new normal. So looking at the entire year, what happened, what it looked like, how the trends moved is a much better idea to kind of see really the overall look at our markets, right? And how healthy it is and just what's been going on with the world. So next year is going to be going, or next week, we're going to go into all of that. Is what was 2023? What happened with our markets? What did it look like? What affected it? And yeah, go from there.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Another thing, at some point we were talking about this earlier. We're gonna zoom it out even further. We're gonna see how far back we can go and look at when did Heather's market kind of compare with our market being, say, in the mid 200s, and how was that transition from a $250,000 price point to a $1.4 million price point? Kind of what that looked like over time as well. So super excited about that. So we will see you guys next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.